Jackie Sells Homes, and I'm so excited to be talking to you again. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go and subscribe right now so that you don't miss any content that I get to upload each and every week. And don't forget to like my videos. I really appreciate your support. And today's topic will be related to the very first video I made, that is the guideline to buying property in Kenya. So today we are going to talk about foreign ownership of property in Kenya. Let us start with these simple questions. I know it's a very common question that is normally asked by foreigners and foreign investors who want to come and buy property in Kenya. They normally ask, can you buy property in Kenya as a foreigner? Or can a foreigner buy property in Kenya? Can a foreigner buy a house in Kenya? Can a foreigner buy apartments in Kenya? Can a foreigner buy a hotel, a restaurant, a beach plot, or a holiday home? Yes, it is very possible for foreigners to own and acquire property in Kenya legally. So guys, let's get started. I know foreigners have been duped to believing that they cannot own property legally in Kenya, but that's not true, guys. The Constitution of Kenya, the Lands Act, and the Registration Act gives foreigners the right to own properties legally in Kenya. So no one should lie to you that you have to partner with them as your trustee for you to own property in Kenya. However, there are limitations for foreigners to own property in Kenya. So which are these limitations? I'll just list them and make them very simple for you to be able to comprehend and get them as clear as possible. So the first limitation is that a foreigner can buy a property in Kenya, including land, houses, apartments, beach plots, holiday homes, and any other kind of investment in real estate apart from agricultural land. You should note this, that due to the long history of the colonialism in Kenya, the Constitution came up with the act that foreigners cannot own agricultural property in Kenya. So what happens? The only time a foreigner can own agricultural property in Kenya is when they have shares or they are shareholders in a public company that owns agricultural land. That means that a foreigner can only own agricultural land in Kenya if they are shareholders in a Kenyan company and they are one of the shareholders who own the agricultural land indirectly. I hope, guys, that is simple enough. And you should also note that the only time that a foreigner can own agricultural land in Kenya is when they apply for exemption from the President of the Republic of Kenya for them to be able to own agricultural land in Kenya. It's not that easy, guys. So I hope you've noted that. The other thing that you should note in foreign property ownership of property in Kenya, including land, is that all foreigners and any foreigner can only own property in Kenya through a leasehold tenure. That means that no foreigner can own property in Kenya on freehold basis. And this means that when I talk of leasehold ownership of property, I mean the lease period for owning and holding that property is 99 years, and upon expiry of the 99 years, that is the given period by the government and constitution of Kenya, you find that you as a foreigner can renew ownership of the property. Another thing that you should note on holding a property on leasehold tenure is that as a foreigner, you have to pay lease fees, or which is normally paid annually, that is every year. We also call that peppercorn rent, which is normally paid by foreigners who are holding land on leasehold tenure. Another thing that you should note about foreign property ownership in Kenya is that if a foreigner at any one time finds themselves holding a property on freehold tenure, that is, if they acquired a property a long time ago and the title deed still indicates that they are holding it on freehold tenure, the title deed has to be translated to a leasehold tenure, which is 99 years. So they truncate the ownership period to 99 years. Another thing that you should note about foreign ownership of property in Kenya is that as a foreigner, you can only hold property in Kenya or buy property in Kenya in town areas, that is within municipalities that are within the cities and not in the rural areas. I hope that is comprehensible, guys. I would also want you to understand about foreign companies and Kenyan owned companies. Foreign-owned companies normally have foreign shareholders and members, and they can only own or hold property on leasehold term basis. So they can only hold a property on leasehold tenure. For Kenyan citizens, these are Kenyan citizens who are shareholders in a company, and you as a foreigner come in as a shareholder in that company, you can get to hold property indirectly through the company on freehold basis or on freehold tenure, and also get to own property, that is agricultural land, indirectly through the same company on freehold or leasehold tenure, whichever applies on that case. Note that ownership of property in Kenya is dictated by either the Constitution of Kenya, the Land Control Act, or the Registration Act. And whatever the president says, like when he has to say that people of a certain area need to be issued with their title deeds after staying with no ownership documents for their land or properties, that's the only time or the only person who has the right to exempt anyone from the three acts that I've just mentioned. You should also note that if you marry a Kenyan citizen as a foreigner and get married for not less than 7 years, you are considered a Kenyan citizen. So you acquire Kenyan citizenship through marriage, and that way you can be able to purchase properties in Kenya without any issue. So you have to note that for you as a foreigner to purchase properties in Kenya, you need to go through certain processes and acquire certain documents, and this includes a foreign ID or foreign national registration certificate, which is normally acquired if you have stayed in Kenya for more than 3 months without leaving Kenya. And you should also note that the Kenya Investment Authority normally facilitates foreigners in Kenya who want to invest in properties here to get an endorsement letter very easily, for them to present it to the KRA for you to acquire the PIN identification number as a foreigner, so that you can go ahead to open a bank account in Kenya for you to be able to transact without any issues. This is another thing about foreign property ownership in Kenya. Some foreigners can own properties through trusts. By trust, I mean that a Kenyan citizen holds the property on behalf of the foreigner, so the foreigner indirectly owns the property through the Kenyan citizen. So that kind of a setup or agreement is normally dictated or clearly agreed upon through a document known as a trust deed, which is normally drafted by a qualified advocate. So in this trust deed, it indicates that the Kenyan citizen is the legal owner of the property, but the foreigner, on the other hand, is the beneficial owner of the property. So the work of the Kenyan citizen in that kind of agreement is just to hold the property, but the foreigner is the one who benefits from the property. So guys, this is not necessary at times. If you can be able to buy a property the right way, you just need to do it and just stop partnering with people, because if a Kenyan citizen, whoever you signed that trust deed with, just decides to breach the trust deed, trust me, it will not be good. So you spend a lot of time in court and you might end up losing your property. So just try to own a property here in Kenya legally for you to avoid all these troubles later in life. And you also have to understand that for properties that are owned through trust deeds, you normally pay higher returns than you filing personal returns. So that is also something that you need to note by owning properties through trusts in Kenya. So you have to understand what your property investment goal is, and also the long-term implications. So just make sure you get the right legal and tax advice. Just make sure you get the best advocate for them to advise you on this kind of agreement if you want to start owning properties in Kenya through trusts. So guys, I hope this information has been helpful to you, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. You can also reach me on +254, that is the Kenyan code, and 0755617054. Feel free to reach out, and if you need any property options as a foreigner here in Kenya, you are in safe hands, and I am ready to serve you and advise you and work with you. So guys, if you haven't subscribed again, please subscribe.